Greetings, friends. This is a video reply to Christopher L. in his video series on hell. And what's really interesting is he came to a conclusion that if there's eternal reward, if we believe in that, we need to also believe in eternal punishment. But in all four of his videos, he never addressed the issue of how persecution and apocalypticism influenced eschatology. Because just like some people say Nazareth is the city that theology built, so is heaven, and so is hell. And if you look at the progression on ideas in both Judaism and Christianity, as persecution grew worse, so did apocalypticism, and as the situation in life grew worse, so did apocalypticism, and the dimensions were added to. Not only do you have a heaven, you have 7 heavens. And then not only later do you have hell, if there's 7 heavens, there also must be 7 stages of hell. So you get this in the Talmud and writings of the rabbis from the Talmudic era. So what's really interesting is, can we add on to dimensions, and can we move dimensions of the afterlife or other worlds, and can we add to them? Catholic Church has done this many times, and so it makes me think that we really don't know. If you take a look at the text of Maccabees, all the way books 1 to 4, there you will find the persecution of the Jews from the Greek king Antiochus IV, and his forced Hellenization policies. They were terrible, and that is when people started asking the same question that Abraham asked God back in Genesis. What did he say? And this is the thing that we're trying to explain. Abraham came forward and said, "Will you sweep away the innocent along with the guilty? What if there should be 50 innocent within the city? Will you then wipe out the place and not forgive it for the sake of 50 who are in it? Far be it from you to do such a thing, to bring death upon the innocent as well as the guilty, so that the innocent and the guilty fare alike. Far it be from you. Shall not the judge of all the earth deal justly?" That's what the people of Maccabees in that forced Hellenization process were asking. The just who were dying as martyrs did not have a reward for following the commandments of God in this life. They were dying just like everybody else. And they were being persecuted just like everybody else. So they had to answer the question, why is this happening? It says in the biblical literature, in the Old Testament, in Torah, that if we follow the laws of God, we will live long life and have many kids. And that was not happening. So must be, after we die, there must be some reward waiting for us. And must be because our oppressors are outliving us and taking advantage of us and killing us off. Must be that this life will be okay for them, but in the afterlife, they will be punished. Just like in the afterlife, we will finally receive a reward. So I guess the question they had to answer, and we are still answering, is what was that? What is that reward? What is that punishment? Dimensions are added on, dimensions are taken off. It even started in Dead Sea Scrolls, which is part of that period also. And a really good book on the text is Judaism of the Second Temple Period, Qumran, and Apocalypticism. So if you can get a chance, grab that book. Also, a really great book is Ancient Israel, Myths and Legends. So as you can see, it's very thick, and they go through a lot of that material. But if you get a chance, read the War Scroll and see how apocalyptic that was from the Qumran community. And also texts like Doctrine and Covenants and the Community Document. So I think that as persecution builds, apocalypticism builds, our quality of life lowers, more things are added to the eschatology. But today, people have it a lot easier than they used to, so hell isn't all that important. We like to think there's a reward. We don't really have all that big of enemies. People aren't getting killed off by the masses. Here in the U.S., at least, for religious beliefs. So we tend to minimize the punishment for our oppressors. But what is that? Can that happen? Can we create dimensions on a mere vote? And can we take away dimensions on a mere vote? And if we can do that, is it really true? I tend to think that theology creates many of these dimensions, both in the afterlife and ideas, of course, on our worldview. So take care, friends, and remember, if everyone's thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking